Oh, hello everyone. Second video of the day, and I'm back in the park for this one. You can see the football pitch over there behind me. Well, hope everyone's doing alright. I've got a long day tomorrow. We're going to two different places. Got to go up to Peterborough and then to Hitchin. I've got to leave my wife in one place and go and visit a relative in another. Don't worry, I'm going to go back and get her at the end and all come home together, but it's going to be a long one. You know, I was thinking of what to do for a second video, and I was looking at different stories in the media, which some YouTubers have been talking about as well. And it's apparent to me that the government, despite all their protestations to the contrary, just don't give a monkeys about anything or anybody. It really does stick out a mile. And when it comes to being held to account, being asked the questions about what they believe and what will happen if they're in government, they don't have any answers to give. I mean, you take this news story that's come out in the last couple of days. As you know, I've been following the plight of the WASPy women. Now, this is very important, and it's one of many, many scandals. You've got the child support agency. You know, somebody got forcibly evicted and they ended up having to give their home back all over a set of fictitious arrears that don't exist. Disgusting. I saw that this morning. You've got what's going on with the army veterans, the Armed Forces Compensation Scheme or the war pension, depending on when you had to go and ask for support. Again, nobody seems to care, and they throw millions of pounds at stuff like the Invictus Games, which, despite its initial idea, which I thought was a decent one, it's turned into a vanity project for politicians and the like. And I'm sure, you know, the post office scandal as well, there's another one. There's many things that could have been undone or done differently if people in government actually cared. I mean, you look at the WASPy women, retirement in general. I mean, in my 20s, and I'm a bloke, not a woman, or I identify as that anyway, if I'm allowed to, that is. I thought, right, I'm going to work for 40 years, and then I'm going to hang up me whatever it is I'm going to hang up, and that'll be me done. Well, 40 years. I'm about halfway through that 40 years now, and the world is a very different place, and things like retirement are a bit of a pipe dream, and it gets pushed further and further down the line because the state pension age has become a goal, really, that we can't reach. Become a goal that might be completely unreachable by the time I get there in another 20-25 years. And the WASPy women are the ones that really got screwed over, because they all planned for their own retirement, and it really affected ladies who were born at a certain point in 1954 and onwards. My own mum was actually affected by this as well, and her state pension was delayed by, well, several years. In fact, she had to carry on working, and then it got to a point where, you know, she was able to stop anyway because of circumstances. And there are a great deal of women who have ended up destitute, some even homeless, over this situation. Well, a report came out, and you can see the news article here, where it is deemed that these WASPy women may have actually been hard done by, and they're owed compensation after all. Who knew? Well, it's down to a government to sort that out, a sitting government, and the way it's looking, it's going to be a Labour government, despite the fact that horrifies me no end. Emily Thornberry, bless her, you can always count on her in a crisis, was asked a very simple question. Would a Labour government honour the conditions of any report or anything, and actually pay these women what they earn and what they deserve. Have a look at this video and you'll see what she said about that.
Can I just ask you one simple question? Do you agree that the women should be paid compensation?
I think that it needs to be considered very carefully.
So you're not saying yes?
We need to hold the government to account and get the government to govern. Actually, that's what we should be doing.
Totally non-committal. Wouldn't answer and totally evasive. That's not the only interview where she's behaved like that. It's not the first time, and she's not the only one. Now that tells me they're more concerned about the keys to number 10 and not looking bad as opposed to what's good for their constituents. The other one I want to mention is this business with our flag. Anybody that's English, there's been a lot of fuss about this over the last couple of days, and I'm a bit late to the party. The St George's Cross, the Cross of St George, the national flag of England. There seems to be shame over it, its very existence. And if you mention something like St George's Day, the lefties will straight away say, well, St George wasn't even English, why are you celebrating a day? And he'd never been to England in his life, he was Turkish. Yeah, I've heard it all before. But does it give you the right to desecrate a national flag? I don't think so. And you can see what they've done with the England team's kit. I think it's a bit of a disgrace, because if you looked at any other flag from any other nation, it simply would not be allowed to happen. That much is so. Yet it is. Emily Thornberry was asked her opinion on this on GB News. Have a look at what she said.
Your leader is on a lot of the papers this morning over this England kit furore. Is he right to speak out? What do you make of it all?
I think it's all very odd. I mean, if you look at it, what have Nike done? I mean, seriously, you can hardly recognise it as the England flag, can you? I mean, England flag is a simple white background and a red cross. Seems to me, why can't they just leave it alone? Imagine how cross the French would get if they started putting bits of purple on the tricolour, or they changed the Welsh flag, took away the dragon and stuck a pussycat on instead. I mean, people would be up in arms. I think that he's right. I think, why can't we just have as just a straight England flag on the back of these shirts?
Yeah, but to be fair, you're not a particular fan of the St George's Cross, are you?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you took the mickey out of someone flying the England flag and had to resign as a result of it.
Oh, you're talking about a photo I took 10 years ago.
Yes.
And I put on Twitter. Yeah, no, I took a photo 10 years ago of a house that was completely covered in England flags. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
And people made all sorts of assumptions about it? All right, OK. Sorry, I'm so far beyond, like, kind of trying to sort of explain, it was a photograph, and other people have decided what it was that I was thinking or saying. I mean, as I say, it was a very long time ago. But I did, as far as I was concerned, if it was going to do any damage to the Labour Party, do you know what I did? I resigned. Do you remember when people used to do that when they made a mistake? You haven't seen that forever, I think, from this lot. They don't do resigning, do they?
Yet another example of a politician who got caught out. I remember years ago the item that they're talking about, somebody patriotic, or just plain saying up yours to the establishment, put English flags all over the front of their house, and there was utter furore, including Emily Thornberry, and because of her comments she resigned. So if you resign from a job you're no good at, why are you still there? That just shows you the ineptitude of the whole setup. Well, hopefully when the general election comes, we might be in for a bit of a surprise. But somehow I doubt it, because there's far too many in this country that still believe the only choices are blue and red. But there's a lot more choice than that. You just have to believe in your heart that it's doable. And unfortunately, as we've seen in the last couple of by-elections, only 60% of people in both those constituencies didn't turn up. Imagine the difference that could have made to so many. Anyway, I'm off. I may do a video from the garage next, read out some of your comments, or if anything else comes up. But I'm bloody starving and I want to get something to eat. So here's another video for you to watch. And I look forward to talking to you again soon. And also, don't forget, subscribe, like, and share the hell out of my stuff. Toodaloo.